firstly, John, thanks for taking time out on a big week for you to join us here. Again, huge congratulations. I was talking to you earlier in the week. A massive achievement to be given the refereeing of the All-Ireland final for 2023 with Kilkenny and Limerick. I read your interview during the week with Brendan Lawrence. It's very hard. He covered a lot of stuff in it. I suppose it's very hard not to go over all ground, but it's a huge achievement for yourself, firstly, for your family, for your club, everyone involved, and it's also a wonderful achievement for Wicklow and all the GAA people in Wicklow to have you up there as well. And just already, I suppose you've touched on it a few times, but like, what it must mean to yourself to be put in that position.
Oh yeah, like I say, I'm delighted. It's a super achievement. It's a long, I think it's 1970 now since we had a hurling final referee. So what's that, 53 years? Longer? No, yeah, 53 years.
Yeah,
right, the math's not too bad.
I hope there's a good Sunday.
Yeah, hopefully. I know, it's like anything. Like I started off refereeing there in 2007, and sure, you want to do your own club stuff here, and hopefully that goes well, and you need breaks along the way. Like I never set out in 2007 to referee in All Ireland. It just, things progressed well. You get the games, keep moving along, and it all culminated there and getting a phone call last Wednesday evening. Like, it's a lot of hard work went into it as well. Like, doing everything here and help a family, friends, club, county board here in Wicklow, getting the games here. So it's lovely now, I'd say, to reach the culmination of the final now on Sunday. So delighted now, absolutely delighted.
Yeah, and I suppose, look, you touched on it there. It kind of fills the book for you as well. Thankfully, you've done the minor final, you've done the under 20 and under 21, which I don't think there's many can say as well.
I'll claim that one. Yeah,
and now you've got the senior final, but you've your Leinster finals, your Munster, you've your Leinster club finals and stuff in between as well. So it's a real full book on the CV, to be fair, and 9 senior hurling finals at Wicklow, 2 senior football, so
7 and 2.
7 and 2. Sorry,
football, yeah.
My mistake. Sorry.
You're grand.
But yeah, it's a huge thing. But this is the icing on the cake, I suppose. You got the Munster final last year. I suppose there was lots written about it. Everyone, anyone that looked at it thought you done a great job. There was a little bit in the background, but
these things happen. Like, I came home that Sunday evening, delighted myself, and then during the week, then there was a couple of things missed in extra time, and it should have been picked up. Like, that's our job, is to pick up things off the ball, whether it be myself or my umpires. But we didn't get him on the day, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So I just said I put the head down. I knew this year was my last year, and I could either say, right, so we'll just finish out the career and see what happens, or go the way I went. And I just said, I talked to all the umpires over Christmas period, and I said to them, lads, I said, I've one more lash at this. I said, I don't know whether it'll happen or not. In my own head, I'm thinking, would a lad in his 50th year of refereeing, his 50th year of age, would he be even considered for it? So we done the league games, got a league semi-final, which went well, and then picked for the championship panel for, I think, the 12th season in a row, so it's not too bad. And then we were sent, our first championship game, we were sent up to Antrim, was Antrim and Dublin. Turned out it was a draw that day. Went well. I had an assessment back after that. I know the chap that does it, Michael Sheridan from living in Naas now, originally Tipperary man, and he said went well that day. So you just tip along and you keep training away. And then another game came along, I think Waterford and Clare, down in Thurles, in the Munster Championship. Same as, I think Clare won it handy enough that day, but you're there, you can't have any say in the outcome of the score, you just have to referee what's in front of you. And then we got the Waterford Tip game, and Waterford not to play for that day. Tip would have won in the Munster final. When they lost, they were out. That's fine margins. So all reports were going well, and you still want to be tipping along. I didn't know what would come up next, but the way it usually pans out is if you get appointed for a quarter final, you're in a fairly good place, and then you want that to go well. So myself and Johnny Murphy from Limerick were appointed to 2 quarter finals. I got the Galway Tip game, and once again, no drama in it, went grand, and sure. Then the next thing is, are you going to be appointed for a semi-final? And it has happened in the last previous years that a semi-final referee has got a final, but generally it's not the done thing. So obviously no appointments came then, and sure,
Johnny Murphy being from Limerick was no harm.
No harm. No, it wasn't, because Johnny's been going very well the last 2 years, and it's like anything. That the one thing that helps me is Wicklow aren't in the Liam McCarthy, so that's why it suits me to be up there. Up to Johnny now, I spent time with Johnny in New York in 2019. We were over at the Super 11s, and he was the other referee to come over that year, and I got to know him well over there, like, good lad. But unfortunately for Johnny at the minute, he's strong referee and he's coming at the same time his home county are absolutely flying.
I suppose he can give out in one way, but he can't give out in another.
And same as soon as I got the phone call last Wednesday week, and it was released on Thursday, one of the first lads on to me was Johnny. Like, he sent me a lovely message on the text, and same again today, and wish me the best of luck for Sunday. So there's a tight group there, like, we're all fighting for the one thing at the end of the day, but like, people know that you get what you're given, and try to get the best day, like, so then, if I say the phone call came last Wednesday, and sure, it was a long day. Let me tell you, up to 6:10 last Wednesday.
Had a long day, not able to tell anyone that as well.
Yeah, like he said, he rang me about 6:10, and I just had to digest that for a minute, and it was a home meeting. Sure, I think she left higher than me around the kitchen, and our national referee manager, Donald Smith, ex-Meath goalkeeper, just said, just like family evening this evening, just try keep it yourselves. We're going to do a press release tomorrow at 2:00. I said, just Donald, that's going to be hard to keep that to myself. So, no, it was great. We had a nice evening at home, like, and then sort of people started to ponder then Thursday morning, and sure, a little bit of word got out then, and sure come 2:00 then, phone just melted. Literally melted. So
yeah, I mean, that's good. Like, it's such hard work, and I suppose we always speak about when we're playing and when we're it's the game that you love so much can hurt you so much sometimes as well. So these days are to be savoured,
Like, you get enough knocks along the road, like, so when you do get the good news, like, it's you enjoy it, you embrace it, like, it's super, and thank God.
Yeah, and I suppose just looking forward to Sunday, two teams, in my book, the two best teams in the country are going toe to toe. These are probably two teams that have brought hurling to another level completely over the last decade. And like, to have anything to do with that day is massive. But looking from the outside in, the way you let the game flow, the way you referee games, I think you're probably suited down to the ground for this one.
Yeah. Like I said, I've refereed the games this year, and I say that they've went very, very well. Now, I've been fortunate enough that the games that I have done this year, both teams have went to play, and that helps. Like, you need to be looking at these games. You need two teams come out, play hard but fair, just be on top of it from the word go. Like, and hopefully now the same will be Sunday. Like, as you said, Kilkenny and Limerick, sure, it's last year's final back again, and there was 2 points in it last year, and like, a new Kilkenny manager there, Derek Ling, he's got a good tune now out of the lads. He's brought in a few of his under 20s from last year and mixed them with the few older lads, and seems to be working for him, like, because I think going into the semi-final, a lot of neutrals would have been fancying Clare to come out on top, but Kilkenny being Kilkenny,
yeah, and I suppose people are probably looking at Limerick saying they're yet to fully wind out this year as well,
Exactly,
and that if they hit the ground Sunday, like, it has all the makings of a real cracker.
It has all the makings of a classic, like, as I say, we're standing here knocking tonight now, and it's looking out at the rain, so I think it's to be a mixed bag now on Sunday, but sure, we'll deal with what we're given on the day, and that's all we can do, like, so.
Yeah, and I suppose just looking to that as well, you have a quick mention of the lads there. You sat down at the top, your extended team of umpires as well are hugely important on the day. Paul and David, the two lads from Westmeath, and then you have Eddie and Tommy, the two local lads as well. Huge trust there as well, like, and a huge part of your team.
Oh, it's massive. Like, Eddie, and he keeps reminding me. So Eddie's been with me from day one. Tommy got involved there probably 2015, 2016, maybe a little bit earlier. And I had my father and my brother Tom with me. Now, as Daddy was pushing on in years, and he was feeling the pressure of it. So we just had a discussion one evening, and Tom was involved with clubs in Dublin coaching, and he's actually doing a bit of refereeing now himself. So Barry Kelly I was doing the line for Barry. Actually, no, Barry was doing the line for me one day in Dublin, and I was shot one. I don't know who was the morning rang me and they couldn't make it, so one of his lads came with me and. That day, and sure, I just got built up a bond with Paul. Like, he's done two All-Irelands there, with Barry, and he came on the team. And then it was actually Tommy. Now, I think it was a 2018 Connacht intermediate club final up in that league. I think Tommy the one the daughter home wasn't feeling well that day, so he had to pull out, unfortunately, so I rang Paul. I said, is there anyone up along that area now that we can pick up on the way, because I wasn't able to pick up anyone here. And I said, like, especially going up to at league on a Saturday morning, you're not back till 10 or 11 o'clock at night. So David, who was an ex-umpire for James McGrath, came along that day as well, and sure, he's with me ever since too. Like I say, the two lads here now, like the Paul and David now would only do the inter-county stuff, but like any time we're here in Wicklow, like sure, Eddie and Tommy are they're there the whole time, and they're good lads. Like, you know, we'd meet probably once or twice a week. We have a chat on the phone, we're on the phone 4 or 5 times a day. Like it's a massive commitment. Like whatever about me now, like but the lads, like I get to be a limelight in the middle of the field. The lads are gone. Like they're gone for, it's a 12-hour day. Like we head up to Antrim there to Corrigan Park. You're gone at 8 o'clock in the morning. You're not back till 9 or 10 at night. Like, you know, so I'm delighted now for them as well. Like, because it's a massive achievement. Like to have my own two Wicklow men and the two boys now up there Sunday. And like it's nice. We get a weekend away out. We're heading up now tomorrow up to Castleknock, and it's a nice family meal and all tomorrow night with all the officials and all, and then into Croke Park. So it's for the work they've put in. Like and it's countless hours. I'm delighted for them as well. Like, you know, they totally deserve it as well, and only for them I wouldn't be where I am, because you need the first thing we're always told, and it's embedded in us there. Like the referee is only as good as the 4 lads he brings with him, because there's no point in you getting everything right on the field and having umpires that are not seeing what they need to see as regards scores, going over things like that. So it's very important. Like, you know, I say only for them I wouldn't be where I am. So.
Yeah, and I suppose with yourself on a crest of a wave, you know, is there any advice you'd give to any young or middle-aged fella maybe thinking of picking up the whistle out there? You know, they're like, you know, it gets a lot of bad press from time to time, but it can be a hugely enjoyable way of staying in the sport as well.
Oh, it's massive. Like I'm just looking back, because I was sitting home the other evening there, and we were just going through stuff, and Kieran Kenny, another good friend, he'd obviously very good for the stats and all that, and he'd have old programmes now, and he'd be ringing me and having a chat about things. Like I said, the one regret I have is that I left it till 2007 to start, you know, because I was still playing with Ockram, and you know, I was 39 or 40 going on to the national panel, and at the minute that seems not to be happening, because again, you could spend 3, 4, 5 years getting up to scratch, then you're at 45, and then, you know, you've only 5 years left. So I'd highly recommend. I know a lot of the younger lads now are probably still playing with their clubs, but even if they're getting involved doing a few juvenile games, because I love it. Like, and I think it does get bad press at times, but I think, and we're under pressure for referees. But if you get in and get the few juvenile games in and just pick up on a few bits and pieces, and it is very enjoyable. And then if you want to progress and you're starting to get the graph for it, there is a pathway there. Like, you know, if you want to keep going and going and going, and hopefully that's what we can see more in the future.
Well, John, I've took up enough of your time on a wet Friday evening before an All-Ireland final, and again, thanks a million for your time, but honestly, the very, very best of luck Sunday. It'll be no bother to you, and it'll be a pleasure to watch an All-Ireland final with a Wicklow man refereeing.
No,
thanks a million.
Thank you.